Bet.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Live from the Ley Line. I'm your host, Cameron Porter, and with me, as always, my boy Avery. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How's it going, everybody? I got a new microphone. Hopefully it's
Yes,
slightly better.
it does. It sounds great. It sounds very
Awesome.
good. I'll have to do like a comparison because just hearing it today, I can't tell how much better it is. But
Right.
yeah, I definitely need to look at it. You guys will notice our little antennas are up. Yeah, we don't use those anymore. And eventually, I'm not gonna fucking use these anymore either.
Yep.
So
We were using them for communication down here, and now they're up there trying to pick up waves from the aliens.
yep, exactly. We're tuning into the Ley Line with these fucking things.
Exactly.
And this is where we get all our transmissions. If I don't have my headset on, I can't even think. It's ridiculous. Good Lord. Avery, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Um, Real quick, not to bore the audience, but just a quick update. Something that we're happy about is I got my sprinkler pump fixed.
Nice. No,
So
that's
my
big.
grass will no longer be dead as fuck. So super pumped about that. The wife is happy.
Yes, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's very awesome. It's huge. Not having to go out and water that shit. I don't I didn't know sprinklers were like a thing that people had. I thought that was like only for really rich people.
Oh
But then
yeah.
you meet a couple people and you're like, damn, everybody just has sprinklers. My dad made me fucking water the grass.
Right, right.
You'd
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
go set out the little waterer that goes back and forth
Yep.
and time it,
Yep.
and don't let it run too long. If you do, the city will be on us.
Exactly.
Good
Yeah, you get a
Lord.
decent sized lot. They're essential, dude.
Mm-hmm. 100%. Well, that's good, dude. Big
Yeah.
news.
Yes,
Upgrades in
sir.
all aspects. New mic, fucking water pump,
Yep.
all good things going on.
And
I
you're
love it.
moving as well, yeah?
Yep. Yeah, I'll be moving in August. First week of August, we'll be moving into a house. We're just renting right now, but it's a fantastic rental situation. It's a family friend. Um, and they own a bunch of different rental properties and flip houses in Colorado Springs.
Ah,
And this property became available, and they offered me a deal where I can work on the house itself as well because it needs a lot of work, and it's like credited towards the rent. So we made like
wow.
a little deal. So I've been racking up hours at that place, just trying to, take
Yeah,
like first the deposit's going to be paid for, and then it'll be rent after that. But there's a bunch of stuff to be done on it, so it's
of course.
get to save that money, baby.
Always. Damn, multiple rental properties. That's money right there.
Yeah, very
Good for
smart,
them.
very
Yeah.
smart, and very well off. A very like astute thing that the father, his name is Jeff, that he does. Such a smart man. He'll go onto tax properties and liens,
Yep.
and he'll look and see ones that have lapsed on their payment.
Uh-huh.
And if you make those payments, that's your property now. And
Yep.
he just scopes out good ones, and like he's done that with quite a few things. And yeah, very smart dude.
That's awesome. Yep. I learned all about that when I went through real estate school for a little.
Yeah, I've thought about just hopping on there because like if you've got a little bit of extra money, it's such a better investment than like say you're gonna put your money into the stock market or buy some crypto. Like use
Yep.
that money, get a property,
Yep. Yep.
put in 40 hours of work on the property and flip it for 15 times what you bought it for or paid
Oh,
the
dude.
taxes on. You know what I mean?
Dude, real estate's the backbone of like 90% of millionaires. It's insane.
Yes. Yes. Well, it's like the quickest way to like exponential growth in your money. A lot
Yeah.
of things don't compound like real estate does. And like, yeah, I don't know. A lot of
Yeah.
other things you have to like really work hard to do, and it's hours that you
Right.
put in that ends up being the money. But with real estate, a lot of times it's like partly luck, partly like proper financial situation at the right time. Say the interest rates are good and you get in at a good time, and then that property fucking doubles in value, and you can roll it over and sell it to somebody or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, I can't remember the last one. I lost my train of thought, but
Right. No, it's insane. Yeah.
I love it. I need to start
Hopefully,
getting into it.
yeah. Hopefully, what we're looking for right now is for it to level out and even go down a little bit. Obviously, you always want interest rates to go down, but we need it to
Yeah,
level out right now because it's just continuously going downhill.
I know.
It's so bad right now. I can't even use the adjective I want to or the verb I want to use, we got screwed on ours. But it is what it is.
Yeah,
Hopefully it goes down. There's rumors of a crash soon.
which will be nice. Then you can refi and
I was gonna say
figure out what the situation is.
it'll be a nightmare for people, but it'll also be a great opportunity to make some money.
Right, if you're smart enough. Dude, I think it was George Bush that had a good quote right after 9/11. And he was saying that a tragedy not capitalized on is a missed opportunity.
Right.
And I was like,
It's true.
I mean, he's right.
Yeah,
Fuck. But not if you make the tragedy.
that's very true. Yeah. Well, let's lock in, ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
The former president of the United States, Donald J. Trump, was just attempted to be assassinated on.
Yep.
Um, if you don't know, I'm sure everybody fucking knows, but just in case, a
If you
super quick
don't know, where the
rundown.
fuck have you been? Where you at?
Right, right. He was giving a speech. Where was he?
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania, of course. Fucking Biden's favorite little place over there. Um, he was giving a speech, and we'll get super deep into it, but to run it down, a fucking 20-year-old climbed onto a roof and shot, I think it was 8 or 9 shots at him,
He
missing
didn't
all of
hit
them
he didn't
except
hit
for
one out of
one.
eight. I guess
No,
he hit one, but that
right.
wouldn't be a hit at the
And
at the target range.
yeah, and one grazed his ear. And that's just been the hottest topic alive right now. So me and Cameron, of course, with our brains, are going to tell you what the fuck's going on with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Or
And,
what we
and
think. I don't know. There's a couple different ways that it could go for sure.
right.
I'm
Initial
not
thoughts?
um my initial thought with the whole thing is Trump took the hardest fucking picture I've ever seen in my whole life after he got shot,
Yeah.
bro. When he's in
Yeah.
the sea of Secret Service. And first of all, why are they putting the shortest Secret Service woman they could find in front of Trump? He's like a head and a half taller than her.
Right.
And he like comes up out of the crowd and he's looking at everybody and he's got his fucking like blood down his face and
Yeah.
he just puts his fist up, dude. And there's an American flag in the background. Like
Yeah.
it's somebody I don't know. I got some ideas, but
And
that
he,
seems so planned. That is perfect. It's like the
yeah.
perfect photo.
Yeah. And he's screaming, fight,
Yeah,
fight.
fight. You can see him mouthing it.
So I'm really glad you say that because there is a huge group of people that think it was actually Trump's inside job just
I've heard
to
that.
cause some shock and maybe pull some votes and all that stuff. I
100%.
think it would be really deep if that was true. Like what did he do? Bend over and fucking WWE his ear, cut it with a razor. Yeah, I mean he could have. Um,
He fucking could have.
but then again, you have people who did die. I think one guy died.
Yeah, one dude got his
Some
fucking face blown apart.
Yeah, some firefighter or something.
Yes, yes. Condolences to that dude because that's so
Of
sad
course,
when
of
collateral
course.
damage like that. Like no outcome would have been good. Say in that situation had the
Yeah,
president been shot or this kid dying too. Like none of it's good. It's all a bad thing.
yeah,
Um, but it's extra sad when people who, especially like ex-firefighters,
of
who
course.
are just salt of the earth people who want nothing more than the best for their community end up getting taken out in the crossfire of this bullshit.
Oh, of course. I especially have a soft spot for firefighters. That's a career that I want to do. I'm going to volunteer when I do have the time.
Yeah, fuck
I
yeah.
love that profession.
That's awesome. Have you seen what Jax has been doing lately?
Yeah, shout out
Not to
Jax
name,
Power. I
yeah,
do. I do watch his stuff, dude. I think he's a hot shot.
which is badass.
Yeah, those people go out in the forest and fight wildfires. So,
Yeah, dude, that's some true grit.
yeah,
I love
shout
it,
out
dude.
him for
Yes,
sure.
shout out Jax, man. But um, what was I gonna say? It's regardless, it's bad that this dude got caught in the crossfire, and so a lot of people like this is where the polarizing is starting to happen. Is because there's people saying, "Oh, this was staged. Oh, this was this or that," and people are like, "Well, a dude got shot in the face. What do you say about that?" And I was like, "Somebody shot a gun. I'm not
Yeah,
saying like it all happened. All the physical shit that you saw happened. You didn't see what happened behind closed doors. You didn't see this kid probably getting groomed in fucking like chat boards
yeah,
by these highly infiltrated chat boards that claim to be like far right or Antifa, but more often than not, and we found this out when that like group of like 12 dudes went to kidnap the governor. Was it a
Yeah.
governor or congresswoman?
Yeah.
And like 8 or 9 of them were CIA or FBI. It's like it's that sounds like entrapment. Like they're convincing these poor fools to fucking go along with this idea so that they have a tail to chase.
Yes.
You know?
Yep. So, my personal initial thoughts right away are if it was Trump's whole thing, he planned it out and all that just to pull more votes, get more sympathy, get more unity, stuff like that. Because that is one thing is it did create a decent bit of unity. Of course,
Yes.
there's the people who suffer from Trump hysteria who are
Yeah,
like,
Trump derangement
why did he
syndrome.
miss? Why the fuck did he miss? Yeah, fuck all y'all. Whatever. Anyways, a
No,
lot
that
of
that shows people's humanity. I see people posting about that. I'm like,
totally. A lot of
okay.
Democrats did reach out, and of course, because as soon as there's a little bit of gun violence, their minds flip quickly. Um, but anyways, my thoughts are, if you just go off basically what we know about the government and things like that, it's clearly an inside job, deep state set up.
Yeah.
We can go into every little detail, but like right off the rip, the kid who shot, you're not supposed to say you know, mass shooters' names, but his name I don't care about that. I think it's
You're not?
stupid. People should know.
What are they, fucking Voldemort? Say his
Yeah, they
name.
just right. They just don't want to give him publicity, but I don't give a fuck. His name was Thomas Crooks.
Oh, bad name for to do some bad shit.
Right.
Thomas
And
Crooks. That sounds like a guy in a movie that they got to shoot the president.
totally it
What the
does.
fuck?
It's all set up. And so people start digging and it's like, okay, he has zero social media posts ever. He is on video at a meeting at BlackRock. He was like an intern at BlackRock, of course, Vanguard, that type stuff.
Interesting. I didn't hear that.
Yeah, so it's like, of course he's involved in this shit. Of course he has no social media posts. People can't deep dive him. It just seems very much so that he was set up and chosen to do it.
Right. As a
Be a
lot of
little,
these people are.
I'll be a little mean here. I mean, you take one look at the fucking guy. He's the perfect candidate. I don't care. I'll say it. He looks like a fucking shooter. Um, so it's just really weird. And so, anyways, it's like, why? Well, of course they want to kill Trump. They're gonna keep trying to kill Trump
Hmm.
multiple times. Just wait on it. That man
Well,
needs to go in a bunker.
and really quick on that tangent of them trying to kill him like that. Um, everybody's favorite top G, fucking Andrew Tate. He has a like famous quote where he says that, or it's just like an idea, I guess, that you get 3 lives. First they'll try to cancel you, then they'll
Oh
try to
yeah.
imprison you, which is they both of these things have happened to Trump. It was the grab him by the pussy was the very first like cancel attempt, and
Yep.
then there was the indictments that came in, and then I like saw a video of Andrew Tate watching the news reel on his phone of Trump getting hit, and he's like they just cashed in his third life. Like that's
Yep.
it. They've come for him now. It's like that's
Yep.
all you get.
Yeah. And so, anyways, just to finish my initial thoughts on it, it's like it's a win-win situation for the deep state. If they would have killed him, perfect. If not, all that happens is they're hoping to create a response from right wingers and conservatives.
Something like January
Because
6th.
yeah, because they want responses like that so they can start pointing fingers too and be like, look, look, and of course, incite the ultimate goal, which would be a civil war, a small one.
Right. Well, and also
Um,
to use that to tighten down sanctions and controls on people.
exactly.
You
And
use crises like that to fucking nope, you can't do anything anymore. Taking your
exactly.
liberties.
And so say someone went out and killed Biden now, and it was a conservative, they would have every last little bit of information on that person, by the way. But
Mm-hmm.
anyways, say he did, then it would be like, look, look, this is, guns have shot your person and our person, more gun control.
Right. Which
It,
is what
it's
I was
a
afraid of.
it's a fucking smorgasbord of good opportunities for the deep state in this situation. Now
Yeah.
they missed. I'm sure they're pissed about that, but
I
it
know
still is not good. They
Have you
want to
seen that
incite a
Hillary meme?
response
You seen the Hillary meme
on
where
the
she's like
phone.
standing in the kitchen, like all surprised, and she's like, "You
Yeah.
mean? What do you mean he missed?"
Yeah. I love all that stuff. So
Oh
that's my
shit!
thoughts on it. More and more stuff will come out. Oh, more fun details. This kid climbed up on a roof, somehow outsmarted the Secret Service, got past them all, and a bunch of bystanders in the crowd see him, and they're frantically telling police officers, there's a guy who just climbed on the roof with a rifle on his back. And every single report is saying that the officers were just unresponsive. And like, what? Like, it's fucking insane. So that it just goes deeper and deeper. It's for sure an inside job, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I
More and more
agree.
shit will come out, you know?
It's a weird situation, man. Because on one hand, a part of me really wants to think that it was the Democratic National Committee that was doing something like this, setting up like a hit, and then they
Yeah,
missed. But I think it'd be much easier to fake it and use that to garner sympathy
right.
from everybody. I'm leaning much more towards like the Trump faked it to
Yeah,
polarize his followers.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, listen, that's true. It's either he's got the biggest balls in America or it's what you just said too, because I mean, after that happens and you're dumb enough to stand up and push away your Secret Service so you can put
Right,
your fist up and say,
right.
fight. It looks weird. I hear you for sure.
Did he? It's just how fucking cinematic it was.
Yeah,
It was too perfect.
yeah,
Um, but maybe not.
yeah.
Maybe it did happen like that, and it was just perfect, and there was an American flag in the background waving so perfect, and I don't know. I wish I had timing like that. That
Yeah,
photographer should get a raise.
yeah. I mean, and that motherfucker's a showman. You know, he
That he is.
maybe it lined up perfectly for him and he saw the opportunity and was like, nah,
No, and
we doing
he
this.
he is a fucking smart opportunist. I will
Yeah,
say that much. He is very smart with the way that he presents himself and like the
yeah,
image that he carries,
right.
which is important. It's important when you're a person like that. Your image
Yeah,
is almost everything,
yep,
you know? I mean, you can't be made of fucking styrofoam. You got to actually have something to you.
yeah,
But image is a lot.
right. Yeah, so I think it's pretty well known no matter how hard they cheat. I mean, Trump's going to win by such a landslide now.
Yeah.
So all I can
God,
really say is just look out for it. There's going to be more. There was some reports, I don't know if it was real or fake story, but there was reports that there was another guy that police quickly arrested who had an AK-47 right outside of where he just appeared to. He just
not
appeared to
sure.
another public thing with his ear taped up.
Fuck
And
yeah.
apparently they arrested another guy who was armed with an AK-47. Who knows if that's
Jesus.
true, but just telling you
Nonetheless, they're
folks, look
gunning
out for
for him.
it. Yeah.
God, imagine, Avery, what would do you think, or what do you think would happen if the president got shot, or
Um,
the running president, the former?
uh, shoot. I mean, I think, oh, I know what would happen, especially because their phone call got leaked. Trump and RFK are actually close friends, if you didn't know this.
No shit.
And yeah, RFK called Trump immediately after that, and their phone call got leaked. And Trump talks about some weird shit on that phone call. I encourage you to listen to it.
What?
Um, yeah, he doesn't even really talk about getting shot. He starts talking about vaccines. It's kind of weird,
What
but
the
it's real.
fuck?
It's real. RFK tweeted out and apologized that it got leaked. He said he had no intention of that. Um,
Whoa. What's it on? Are we able to play that?
I mean, dude, you can find anything on Twitter. That's my source for a lot of shit.
Yeah, that's my source too.
Yeah. Um,
Twitter's the shit. I'll never call it X.
Ah, fuck that. See if
Fuck
I can't
X.
find it, I guess. Anyways, so I think a lot of people would just go for him. I know I would. Shit, he
Yeah.
almost won me over regardless. Did we talk on our last pod about this?
About RFK.
Yeah,
We've talked about him before for sure.
but not recently.
Not recent. I don't remember. Possibly.
Okay, because I have some new thoughts on him. He during that fucking shit show of a debate between Trump and Biden, RFK made his own response debate just in his own
Yes.
studio.
Yes, we did talk about that.
Okay.
We just talked about how he did the answers to it, but we didn't go too much further past that.
Okay, so he also just made a 10-minute video. His response to the debate is as long as the debate was. It's like several hours.
Wow.
Um, but I can't figure out my fucking password to Twitter. But he also made like a separate little video just kind of summarizing some stuff. And that video really won me over for him. Because in the video he's talking about like he's basically saying fuck the debate, I should be on there and they won't let me on there because they're scared to ask me questions, you
Right.
know. And he in that video, he talks about something that I've never heard a single fucking politician ever talk about. And he's like, we have to figure out why chronic disease is so high in America. And then he directly says, we have to figure out what's going in the food.
Wow.
And I was like, dude, that's my type of guy right
Yeah,
there.
fuck yeah, it is. He's actually
Yeah,
getting to the root of the problem. It's because like his background is like as an environmental lawyer,
yeah,
and he cleaned up the Hudson River by suing all these fucking companies that were poisoning the water. And I think now he's on the same tirade, but he realizes that that's not a war you can win as a lawyer because
right.
their legal system's far bigger than you could ever generate. They could throw money at it for years and you'll never gain any ground.
Yeah,
So you have to fight it on a bigger stage, and that's probably what he's on his way to do.
yeah, yeah. So, I mean, I was iffy on him before, but that really won me over. I would, in fact, be happy if he won.
Yeah,
I would not be sad whatsoever. Him or
no, that
Trump
would
for sure.
yeah, I agree. It'd be cool to have him on. That would be real tough though, listening to those fucking speeches with that voice of his.
That's true. And a lot of people hate him specifically because of that. It's so
God, it's
stupid.
brutal, bro.
Oh, man.
Sounds like somebody's grandma that smoked too much trying to fucking talk to me.
It is. It's bad. He has some kind of cancer, doesn't he? Or he did?
I thought it was like a fucking vaccine injury that gave him that throat thing, and
Holy
that's why he
fuck.
ralies so hard.
Oh shit, we should look into
I'm pretty
that.
sure I'm pretty sure that I also might be talking out of my ass though, so I don't really know.
Right.
But
I
I could
feel
have
you.
swore I heard somebody say that.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, he really swung me a little bit, man. It's fucking awesome to see someone. You and me have talked about this multiple times on the
yep.
pod. Something I'm super passionate about. That's why these motherfuckers are buying up all the farmland. They're poisoning us, man.
Yes, 100%.
I would go as far to say that our food is making the kids and all this huge wave of depression and gender
Yes.
dysphoria and all this stuff, dude. I
Dude,
think it all comes from food.
when you have all those chemicals in your body and all these heavy metals and red 40, all these like
Mhm.
colored shit, they're so bad for you. If you look
So
into what
bad.
red 40 does for your body and to a child's body,
Yep.
it's terrible. And
I know very
kids
well.
are addicted to red 40,
Yeah.
Takis, hot Cheetos, heck, what else? Any red candy, any of them.
Yeah.
Basically anything processed in red.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm a
it
huge victim of that, dude. I fucking obsess over Takis and hot Cheetos.
yeah, dude, I put down a whole bag of Chester fries
Easily.
all the time. They're so good.
Yeah.
But there's a reason they're so good. It's because they
There's a reason.
hacked your internal reward system. They
Yep.
figured out how it worked, and then they implemented chemicals to fucking hijack it. And
Yep.
now, when you eat, you have all these good feelings. Your brain makes all these great feeling chemicals, but
Yeah.
it's only satiated by the food itself. So as
Yep.
soon as you stop eating it, that feeling goes away, and then it's like a craving.
Exactly.
It's fucking
Exactly.
evil, dude. It's so evil.
Kind of fucking dissipating into the northern lights. I think I'm gonna take this shit off.
I loved
Um,
it. You were just like peeking through the fucking.
yeah.
Oh, this shit's funny.
Um, yeah. So crazy shit. Bottom line, we're living in crazy fucking times, man.
Yes, no doubt. No doubt. I need to I haven't listened to Rogan in a minute, but I need to listen to what he has to say about the Trump shot and
Yeah.
who he's had on because I'm sure Rogan's one of the best for this.
Yeah.
He'll get like the best guest for the best thing that's happening in that moment.
Yeah.
So he probably had like some patriotic writer on or some something or other that came on and explained to everybody like what the fuck happened or what's
Totally.
going on.
Totally.
It,
Yeah. I haven't clicked on that video yet either.
I need to. It's
Yeah.
about time. Um, it's cool to watch Rogan slowly get red pilled.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, he's always been on that side of things, you know,
Hmm.
aliens and DMT and shit. That side of the conspiracies. They're much
Yeah.
more like whimsical, but now he's like getting into like these government shit. And like you could tell back in the day, he was very skeptical of this shit. He was like, no, I don't think that's the case. Like I talk to a lot of people who know a lot of things. They don't say
Yeah.
this is the case.
Yep.
But then slowly he's like, these fucking people are either being lied to or lying to me.
Yep.
And he's just slowly getting wise to it. And it's very interesting to see. He's almost full red pill now.
100%. Yeah, it's cool. He's all he is a very objective arguer,
Mm-hmm.
and I agree with his stance on that too. He's like, I'm dumb. I've told the audience many times, like when we get on here, I ramble and I don't even have like sources on the top of my mind. I kind of
I
just
know,
go
me
off what I've
neither.
seen, and that's okay, man. I'm just talking, you
Right.
know. But anyways, yeah. So, and like you said, he's always been a little bit liberal,
Yes.
and now it is very much the opposite.
100%.
Yeah.
But it's also the fucking goalposts have shifted.
Yep.
So it's like what was liberal back then is probably still what he is, but everything is moved in such a weird direction that it's like that he looks like he's moved, that his
Yeah.
views have shifted based on the tide, but really like you think of it like a buoy. Like the buoy's not moving, the water's moving the buoy around. You
Yeah.
know, I don't know.
Well, I think lots of people are just starting to fucking wake up to the bullshit, man.
Yes, 100%.
Just, I mean, you got to be an idiot to think that putting shit like gender and sex and funding these horrific wars with our own goddamn money for no avail, no purpose. I mean, you got to be an idiot to look at that and be like, I support that.
I agree.
And people are struggling, man.
I agree. Well, and it's so interesting to see because back in the day, it was like Democrats across the board were very against war.
Yeah.
War wasn't a good thing, but now all of a sudden, because it's a virtue signaled thing,
Yep.
war in Ukraine is okay,
Yep.
and war in Israel is okay.
Yep.
Those are justified wars because they're
Yep.
ideological wars.
Exactly.
It doesn't
We
make any
got
sense to me.
fuck NATO. We got no business whatsoever being involved in either of those.
Yes,
Being the sole funder of them. It's insane, man.
NATO. I know we've talked about this ad nauseum, but I think that like NATO. I'm just gonna say this really quick. I don't want to go off onto a tangent about it because I could talk for a while about it, but
Yeah.
I think NATO is for sure at least 85% at fault for what's happening in Ukraine
Yeah.
or more. I'm being generous with that fucking 85% because at the end of the day, there was all these sanctions put into place when the wall came down and Germany was being reunified, and it was like this big thing, and they were stomping out all this bad shit that was going on in Europe, and Russia was like, "All right, that's okay with me. Don't fucking come right here. You see these lines? Don't come. right here. Stay away from these lines. And what does NATO fucking do is they get allies like Ukraine to try to become part of this alliance and put bases in their fucking country, which is directly against the sanctions that Russia put on them. And it's, dude, it's like the person that cheats on you and plays a victim. You know what I mean? Starts crying and sobbing. It's like, bitch, you got no reason to cry. You know?
Cameron just laid it out perfectly for you, ladies and gentlemen. That's exactly what happened. It would be like if North Korea came and built a fucking military base in Tijuana, you know, like just or
Yes.
whatever is closest to Texas or whatever. Like it's right there.
Yes.
And we just kept pushing and pushing and pushing.
Yep. That's exactly what's going on. Which is why it's so silly to me, because you hear all these people who obviously you can tell who watches the news and who actually knows what's going on in the world. Because the people who watch the news more often than not will give you the cookie cutter, oh well, Russia and the Soviet Union and Putin and Trump. And they always lump Trump in with Putin.
Of
If
course.
anybody's ever talking about, they always lump Trump in with that fucking everything. It annoys the shit out of me. Like, part of me wishes Trump would just kind of fall off the face of the earth, because
Yeah.
I'm sick of hearing that fucking dude's name
Yeah.
anytime anything political is brought up. And especially when you're disagreeing with somebody, because they like get this weird, you know, hoity toity, like virtuous attitude, thinking like you're a Trump supporter and like, oh, you just support Trump. Well, you're just a Trump supporter. And well,
Yeah.
Trump did this. And it's like, okay, yeah, you're right. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking
Hmm.
about other shit, you
Yeah.
know? But they like, it's that derangement syndrome we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Um, but regardless, it's, you can tell who actually pays attention, because those are the people who understand, like, yeah, I don't really support maybe the war in Ukraine or the war in Israel. I think neither of them we have much business in at all. I
Yeah.
think we should have our hands off. It's all like, if it's not clear to anybody else, it's a fucking money laundering pit in the Ukraine, and it's like a, I don't even know what the situation is with Israel. I don't know why they want that so bad. My mind goes very conspiratorial when I start thinking too deeply about that,
Yeah.
because there's no good reason why you'd want to fucking patch in the desert with no natural resources.
Right. That's a good point.
Why do you want that?
Yeah.
Unless you want to build the Temple of Solomon in Jerusalem and start the fucking apocalypse, which is where my biblical conspiracy mind goes.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You can't explain that to any person that fucking watches the news.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, kid, all right.
Yeah. To your point about like Trump just disappearing is like that's a common wish among like-minded people like us too. Is like we're kind of just sick of it. Like he he went about it kind of wrong. He didn't really do much wrong, but like he went about it wrong, and so we kind of wish he would just go away so people would shut the fuck up, you know?
That's all it is, dude. And it's just, I don't know. It's just a weird thing. It's like a fucking asshole boss that only like you're doing such a great job.
Yeah,
You're killing it. You bring in a bunch of money for the company, but they like nitpick every little fucking thing you say, and like they like watch every time you do something,
yeah,
and fucking have something to say about everything you do. It's like,
yeah,
dude, fuck off. Like,
yeah,
stop it with that shit.
yeah,
You know? That's what I feel like with this. It's aggravating.
yeah.
But also I can see it from the other side, and this is where the derangement comes in, because they can't look at it objectively and
Mhm.
see it clearly as I, which is such a weird and condescending way to put it. I don't mean it like that.
Right.
It's not like, I can see it better than you. It's like I don't know. I just have all this time before me without any bias that I can look
Yeah,
back on and be like, well, I saw how this went with that president, and then I saw how this guy lied to the American people, and this one
yeah,
too, and this one was getting head. You know, I'm like seeing all these dudes. None of them are saints,
right.
but they are vilifying the shit out of this one guy.
Hmm.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah,
And people are looking at it like it's the end of democracy. Like, I've talked to quite a few people, and they say that Trump's like one of the worst things that could happen and has happened for the country, and they truly believe that. Like while I'm having a
Yeah.
conversation with him, and I'd pick their brain. I want to understand why.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, why is he? Is he real? He's really that bad, or is that what CNN says? Is
Right.
that what your news says? Did you look into anything that happened? And then you start picking their brain a little bit, and they're like, well, they're race. He's racist.
Yes.
I was like, all right, well, I've met a lot of Americans that share opinions like his, and in 85, maybe 75% of the country, you're gonna find opinions like that. Like that is not like a fucking minority opinion. And not saying that it's a racist opinion by any means, but it's like it gets skewed in this way to fucking make him look bad. It's like he was making comments about the border and talking about how a bunch of fucking drug addicts and criminals are making their way through,
Yeah.
which is a real thing.
All of a
There's
sudden he
also a
hates
lot of,
Mexicans.
but there's
Yeah.
also a lot of really fucking hardworking people coming through too, and
Yeah.
beautiful people trying to build a family
Yep.
and seek asylum. But because he said that there are some criminals coming in through, and if you had you listened to that speech and seen what he said in context, it's very clear that he's not generalizing and that he's talking
He's
about a specific group
he,
of criminals coming through.
he's specifically talking about coyotes. Being from Colorado,
Yes.
you and I both are very well involved and appreciative of Mexican culture. All of my
Mm-hmm.
best fucking friends are Mexican, and I sit
Yep.
down and I listen to their problems and I understand the problems with the border and all of that stuff, man.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with that. That's the number one thing is I feel so bad. A lot of my friends just think that Trump hates them, and it's not that, man. I have to explain to them. I'm like,
Yeah.
listen, he's
It's
talking about the
not.
people that you guys hate too. The
Yeah.
motherfuckers kidnapping your uncles and cousins
Yeah.
and
We all
killing
hate
them.
them together. It's not a
Yes.
hate thing.
Yeah.
And
No,
yeah, I don't know.
you're making great points, man. That's always the thing. It's like, can you tell me what Trump did that's so bad? And it's never,
It's the
uh,
racism
he,
thing,
it's never ever like, oh, he crashed the economy. Oh, he costed all these jobs. Oh, he did this. He started this war for no reason.
right?
No, it's never ever that. It's, oh, he said he hates gay people.
Yeah. You know what it really is? You know what the big thing
What?
is that I've noticed as well as they say, which has been proven false, but the Russian collusion.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
me too.
That's the hot button topic with a lot of people, as they say that he's a Putin asset, Russian collusion, which came out to be false.
Yeah.
There was the Steele dossier that they fucking came up with, and which was basically like proving that he had Russian collusion, and but that all was debunked, and it was shown to be falsified.
Yeah.
And so, but it was perfectly timed and dropped into the news cycle, perfectly timed, right around the election cycle for him and Hillary. And so everybody's name was out there, everything was popping really hot, and then Russian collusion comes out, and they think that's gonna fucking make him lose, and he still won
Yeah.
nonetheless.
Like
And then
it
they
doesn't take yeah, it doesn't
go
take a
ahead.
genius to fucking see the whole Putin thing with Trump. He's smart. He's explained it in interviews. He's like, Putin is a cunning, smart, crazy individual. So what does
Yeah.
Trump do? He actually plays it perfectly. It's like keep your enemies close, man. He
Yes,
shows them respect and speaks highly of him because he's
he's
keeping him
smart.
close.
He's
You
fucking
guys think
smart.
he's actually homies with Trump, dude? Or with Putin? Trump tells fucking Al Qaeda leaders and shit that he'll fucking kill them to their face. Have you seen
Yeah.
those interviews? Like, you really think Trump fucks with that? Trump would wipe out Russia in a minute if he needed to, but he doesn't
Yes.
need to. So he's playing it smart. He's a businessman,
He's
dude.
a fucking businessman, dude. That's a great point that you just made. He's a fucking businessman. You know how many cutthroat rooms he's probably been in? He's probably been in rooms with people worse than Putin,
Oh yeah,
like the mafia of New York. When he's trying to get shit built in New York, he
no
had to deal
doubt.
with the mafia. That's like that's a big contention point for people Like the old heads that know old Trump and his dad and shit, they know that they had a bunch of mafia ties
Yeah.
because you don't get shit built in New York without the mafia back in the day. It might have changed now and the unions might have been able to push the mafias out,
Yeah.
but back in the day that was not the case. There was monopolies on construction and that was the
Yep.
mafia. And they
Yep.
had it was these fuck which is God, what a good business to have if you're going to do mafia shit. You have consistently secure sites where you can go do whatever the fuck you need to do that are noise ordinance, so nobody's going to come check on loud noises coming from that fucking site.
Yeah.
Bunch of concrete getting poured every day, so if you need to make some mincemeat and throw it in there, it's not a big deal.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Fucking big deal when I was
You
Italian. You even got Italian on them.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude.
Uh,
Just real quick, I also want like quick, I want to make it clear that I know for sure Cameron doesn't, and I also do not worship Trump. I don't think anybody should worship Trump. There's these
no,
crazy right wingers who think he's the second coming of Christ and stuff like that. Man, I
which
don't.
cracks me up because I don't think they read their fucking book because they must have missed the part where it says not to worship false idols.
I was gonna say, dude, I don't worship anybody but the Lord.
No,
I think Trump is probably a sticky, powerful, fucked up person behind closed doors as well.
yeah,
It's just strictly on the topic of he killed it being the president, man.
I agree
You
with that.
can't argue with
If you
that.
look at it on paper, because I want somebody to tell me one thing that he did that was like quite detrimental while he was president, because
Right.
all of it was either just lateral movements, like no forward progress, but just a lateral movement,
Yeah.
or he was getting shit done for the economy.
Yep.
You know what I know as a consumer and as a person who pays for things? Is things are cheaper.
Yeah. Do you remember, Cameron, when six figures was a lot of money?
Yeah,
I mean, it's fucking insane.
I know. I know.
Six figures is nothing now.
Now 6 figures is just like comfortable,
Yeah.
you
Barely.
know,
Yeah.
depending on what part you live and also your standard of life, of
Right.
course.
Right.
That's the other thing too. This is part of the plan with the New World Order, man, and fucking 2030 agenda is they want to get you conditioned to lower your standard of life. So
Yep.
you're more accustomed to fucking living with smaller and smaller things, less and less ownership, less and less space.
Yeah. Fucking crazy. We're gonna live through that, man.
I know. I'm excited for it. We're gonna fight through it, fucker.
Yeah, we are.
We're not gonna let it happen.
Everyone who just so happens to hear this, man, 2030 agenda, go back on our page, listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
Shit's gonna go down. I'll be fucking shocked if it doesn't.
No, it's certainly going to. It's
It's
going to.
going to.
Yeah, it's just gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird to see which way it swings because I don't know. I'm a I'm something of a smart businessman myself,
Yeah.
and I'm not willing to like risk life or family's life being stupid and trying to fucking play revolutionary. You know, it might be a better thing to do, which I'm not saying like tuck tail and fucking lick a boot,
Right.
but be smart, know when to fucking fight your battles and know when to concede. It's one of those things. But I really
Yeah.
do hope that more people are on the wave of against it because if you can see that that tide is growing in that way, of course you jump on that wave and you
Yeah.
ride that thing until it settles back down.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Shit
I'm
like this
not.
has happened a lot in history.
hmm hmm Yeah, I'm not too freaked out about it. I think people would come together and create sovereign states
Yeah.
and be like, we're not gonna accept the US government anymore.
Texas would be the place to go. I bet
Yeah.
Texas would be like a sanctuary state for
Yeah.
like reasonable people that aren't with the fucking agenda.
Yeah. As long as we have a port and
Yeah.
access to oil
Yep.
and decent farmland. I mean, nowadays anywhere can be good farmland, you
You
know?
know what would be a good thing to do?
Huh.
We'll put some dynamite along the California border. We'll blow that off the fucking
Yeah,
United
just sink
States.
it.
Yeah.
Just sink that bitch.
And then we'll go live in Arizona Bay.
Yeah.
Get some waterfront.
Arizona Bay.
Yeah. We'll get some waterfront property.
Yeah. Fuck California, bro. Straight up.
Funny shit. Well,
Good
what do you
stuff,
think?
man.
Should we fucking even touch on the other one, or should we just save it for another day? Save it for the folks.
I suppose we could wind down.
I don't need to. I'm just
That was
wondering.
good. It was good talk, man.
Indeed.
I'm kind of rolling too, man. Let's just touch. Me and Cam were talking before the episode started, just like it's always good to remind the people what this podcast is about. And one thing that me and Cameron are super passionate about is these deep, deep conspiracies that involve the Illuminati, aliens, political stuff like we just touched on for the last several minutes.
Yes. But that's not even my bread and butter. I like doing
Not even the bread
research
and
because it's
butter.
important to know about that shit
Yeah,
because you need to know what's going on in your reality. And
yeah,
for us, we need to understand our American politics
yeah,
because it plays a huge part in our life and our sovereignty. You need to understand what's going on and your leaders.
yeah.
But the next shit, this is what really gets my fucking face blushing.
It's our bread and butter. It's in the name, ley lines, you know. So anyways, we were just saying we wanted to touch back to our roots a little bit. I don't even know what to go off of on that. Me and Cameron just both listened to a podcast involving, you got his name, Cam?
Yeah, his name's Nathan Reynolds. It's on the
Yeah.
Confessionals podcast. Um, fuck, I can't remember. I've got it pulled up right here.
I think the host name is Ian, or maybe his co-host is Ian something.
It's something Merkel, Tony Merkel.
Okay.
That's the name of
Um,
the dude. Tony Merkel. Merkel fucking Productions or whatever. He's got his own website and shit. He's like the real deal. He's
yeah.
very astute podcaster, certainly a role model in this realm. This
Oh,
dude
dude, when
fucking
you
is
fucking click on one of his pods and you listen to the intro and
yeah.
stuff like that, it's
Oh,
really
dude, it's
cool.
legit. That's the realm I want to start moving towards. I know we've got like our little goofy fucking song that we play at the beginning with the little picture and like that's cute
Hey,
for
I like it.
dude, I like it too. Hey, hey. I like it too, but it's a good starting point, of course, but I
Yeah,
can't wait to what I wanted to do is have quite a few episodes under our belt so that I can go through and soundbite
yeah,
and make like a crazy intro with a song and like sound bites from us and like famous people saying shit and like have this like it's like how tinfoil hat does their shit.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And I don't know. I've got a lot of good creative ideas, but it was one of those things where I had to let the bread proof. I had to
yeah,
fucking wait for the podcast to have some time. But
yeah.
we need to make a
No,
good intro. A good intro makes a podcast.
for sure. Don't worry, Cam. Eventually, one day when you and I are both financially very comfortable and stuff, we'll hire a production manager. Because I am passionate about this, and I
Dude,
think
let's
we
just
should
get a
keep.
homie. Let's fucking start grooming a homie that's good
Yeah,
with computers to be our production manager.
exactly. I think you and I should do this no matter what forever because it is
Yes,
important.
I agree. I
Um,
agree. This is just a good fucking fun thing to do, and it helps us both stay informed because I find myself like doing things I wouldn't normally do, checking the news because I'm gonna fucking do the pod, you know.
right, right. Um, anyways, what was his name one more time, Cam?
Nathan Reynolds was the
Nathan
guest.
Reynolds. So I'm about to unpack something real quick, audience, if you're a first time listener. He basically goes on this podcast to claim that his family comes from a descendant of a bloodline that believes they are not exactly human. They're a
Hmm.
subclass of humans that believe they were of pure blood and they're meant to rule, basically.
Yeah, Divine Blood.
Define blood. And it's really, really cool. Um, but it was just shocking to have someone go public and speak about these things like
Yeah.
the fact that he was put through an entire initiation camp, kind of like Wonder Island or what's it called? Never Island. It's like from
Oh
Pinocchio. That was the
yes,
analogy he
yes.
used. Um, where
God, what the hell is the
basically,
name of that island?
yeah, Neverland, not Neverland.
No,
That's
Fun Island or something.
yeah. Anyways,
It's a
He
bad
basically
name.
goes into detail about how he was groomed and, of course, sexually abused by these men to basically tear apart your reality and who you're supposed to be and stuff like that. And then he even goes in to talk about how these people are, they go on to pick a career like being a vampire or a fucking werewolf, and that's really what it is.
Right.
And he talks about how part of his process was he was allowed to go and kill these people who abused him so that he could unleash his anger and therefore make him more evil and stuff.
Yes.
It's fucking
Well, it's like
insane.
they allowed him space. Okay, okay. There's a lot to unpack that. We'll
There's
get
a
into
lot.
that fucking
Yeah.
shit. But so the first thing you were touching on, he was basically from this bloodline, the Reynolds family, this very renowned bloodline that claim that they and people call them like an Illuminati bloodline or whatever. But what that really means is there's 13 different families that all are descendants of fallen angel blood. That's what that means. Is they call them, Nephilim, descendants of the Nephilim, because the fucking they look like humans. So they're not Nephilim anymore. Nephilim look ridiculous. They got all sorts of deformities. They can be giants. That's probably what the dogmen were. That's what chimeras are. All these different creatures that they talk about in mythologies. I'm sure that's what they are. Is
Yeah.
these offspring that happened with the fallen angels. But there's these families that hold these bloodlines, like the Windsor family, who's in control in the fucking not in control, more of like a theatrical way. But the royal family in the UK, that's the Windsor family is another one of those families. Um, but he said that because of this bloodline that they have, it gives them the ability to unlock certain you know, like magical capabilities that other people
Mhm.
can't necessarily tap into, like psychic abilities,
Mhm.
things like that. But that takes a certain process, like you were touching on, this like breaking down of your reality, as you
Your
put it.
humanity.
Yes. Well, and
Yeah.
it's even deeper than that too. What they do is they're basically fucking they're creating a rift in your subconsciousness rather.
Yeah.
And they did this in MK Ultra. This was a big part of what they were trying to do. They
Yeah.
separate you from your consciousness. And therein what happens is another like alter ego comes about. And with that alter ego, that's what they train. They train your alter ego how to do all these things. And this is basically the idea of like a Manchurian Candidate. And for people that don't know, a Manchurian Candidate, it's a movie about like a sleeper cell spy kind of dude who has all this elite training, but was brainwashed into forgetting it, but given like a keyword that when said reactivates all the training. So it's like that training's there. You have it, you know it. But because they were able to create that rift in your subconscious, which is like your dream state, it's you, but you can't really remember it like it's your conscious mind. You don't really have access
It's
to it.
kind of like the Winter Soldier in Marvel.
Yes,
Like you say the activation word or whatever.
yes, it's exactly what it is, which is that blew my mind when I watched that. It like kind of freaked me out. I was like, "Oh fuck. They fucked the dude up." um but yeah, so they essentially make like a Manchurian Candidate out of you and then they train this alter ego. And they called it the Jason program. This my phone, sorry. Um it's the US government like contracts through these families because they understand that these abilities exist, and it's much smarter to have that fucking thing on your side, than
Yeah.
otherwise. And so they contract in and basically purchase the use of these abilities from these families. So now what these families have started doing is creating these like programs where they create these capable people and then sell their abilities to the government. And it's like some it's I've been trying to like create a conspiracy around what the X-Men is, because everything's a fucking conspiracy
Of
if you look
course.
deep enough. But that's probably exactly what the X-Men is about these like magical beings, magical humans that get created or their abilities get activated. And usually if you watch any of the X-Men movies, those abilities are activated from trauma.
Yeah.
Wolverine got his claws because he fucking, I think he walked in on somebody like banging his mom or something.
Yeah.
Like some fucked up shit. You see it on the X-Men Origins. But then he like
Yeah.
runs out into the woods and he's all sweaty and then his fucking bone claws start growing and he doesn't know what's going on. It's these
Yeah.
like trauma. Same with Deadpool. Remember they like basically had to kill him to
Uh-huh.
get these fucking abilities to activate. But then once they activate, oh man, I'm just now putting it together. That's incredible. That's what those
Yeah.
fucking movies are about, dude.
Yeah.
That's basically the idea of like the Negrado, which is it's an occult word for like the blackening of the soul or like the
Yeah.
degradation.
You're exactly right. It's about breaking you down to your lowest point so that your abilities come through.
Yep. And
Yeah.
that's the first step. Like if you do, it's so cool how it all ties together, all these different subjects, but in the occult teachings, um, and what Aleister Crowley would teach, he taught a lot about the Negrado, which is the breaking down, and
Yeah.
that's the first step in like the path to awakening your enlightenment or your magical ability or whatever, which is
Yeah.
so interesting.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, that was kind of a fucking
No, I'm loving it,
tirade.
man. I'm loving it.
That
Yeah, that guy's really
podcast blew
cool,
my
man.
mind.
It's really cool. I love how he specifically names like Gilgamesh and Nimrod and stuff like that. Like he really
Mm-hmm.
knows his stuff, man.
Yes, 100%. He God, for the folks at home that are interested in this, I urge you,
Yeah.
please listen to it because it blows my mind. He talked about Colorado Springs
Yeah.
because he said he came to Colorado Springs for a little while and was stationed at Fort Carson and was like doing some work like that, but also real military work and a little of both kind of thing. And he talks about the energy in Colorado Springs, which is like the reason why I named this podcast what I did. It's live from the Ley Line because we're coming to you from a fucking Ley Line. That's where we record this thing, and this is where we send it out from.
Yeah.
Um, and it was just so interesting. He talked about these high places on the earth, these places where the veil is thin, as they say. Which, and for people that don't really understand what I'm saying, it's like a spot where energetically, because there's different dimensions, and they say that all the dimensions are kind of simultaneously existing with each other.
Yep.
And certain beings, depending on their vibration, have access to different dimensions,
Yep.
is how I've heard it explained. And um shit, I lost my fucking train of thought. What was I saying, Avery?
You're okay. You're just talking about the like spots on Earth that have a
Oh,
thinner
the
veil.
veil fin.
And
Thank you.
yeah,
I over explained and then I lose my fucking thought.
I hear you. Yeah.
But so this is just a place where probably the vibration, like the resonant vibration, is just a little bit higher.
Yeah.
So naturally, everybody is vibrating a little bit higher. And so you have access to these spaces that might not be available other places.
Yeah.
You might be able to see some more paranormal shit than you would. I think there's a reason that Tesla came and set up his like electromagnetic field experiments out here. It's
A
because
hundred
the
percent.
veil's thin and the energy is high. And it was just so interesting because he was talking about how the Native Americans here talk about Pikes Peak, which is the big ass mountain here in the Springs and looks over everybody. They used to
Yep.
call it the mountain that touches the sky. But Madame Blavatsky, we've talked about Madame Blavatsky before, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I want to say she's like from the Slavic region, somewhere up there, like Russian.
Sounds like it.
And yeah, it does sound like it. But she was very big into this, like, new age woo woo ism, you know, and like wokeism, I guess, like the first steps of that spirituality, like all the chicks with crystals and singing, but like she's the originator of that kind of thing, that kind of movement,
Yeah.
you know. But she talks about these high places where you can talk to your ascended masters. And an ascended master, like how they look at it. Like a person like Jesus is an ascended master, somebody who reached ascension in this lifetime and had the knowledge necessary to make the decision to come back and teach others. People like Gandhi and Buddha.
Mhm.
Um, you know, I'm not gonna say the fucking Islamic one because I don't want to get killed one day. I don't want them to have a video of it.
Fucking Muhammad, huh?
Yeah, Avery will say it. But they talk about all these people as ascended masters. And at Pike's Peak is one of the places named in her, I'm pretty sure it's named in her book where you can fucking talk to these people. It's like a connection point for you and these divine beings.
Insane.
And even beyond that, what he's talking about in this podcast is that's a meeting spot for the fallen angels. That's where you go meet the fallen.
Yeah,
That's the highest point, and that's where they can reach you.
it's nuts.
Yes.
It's fucking nuts. It's good shit.
Fucking love it. Yeah, dude, it blew my mind. I urge everybody to just go fucking listen to that thing.
Yeah.
I love it.
Ugh.
Well, buddy, I think we did it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a good one.
It's a good one.
I think we
Yeah.
touched on more than the people can handle tonight.
Yeah. It's a lot. A lot. That's what it's all about, though.
Yes, I love it. I love it. All right, well, folks, you know what to do. You know what we're here for. We're here for the 5 stars.
Yeah.
Just go give it to me.
We're like crack whores. Give us our 5 stars.
Give it to us, please. Yeah, no, nonetheless, for real 5 stars. Like, subscribe. You know all the business. Everybody knows what the fucking deal is. I hate doing the spiel. I need to get like a little sticky note so I can just stick it right here so I can just say it real quick. Just say everything I need. I can't fucking think of it each time. I try to think of a funny way to say it each time.
Yep.
It's stupid.
No, it's good. 5 stars. Subscribe to the Patreon. Fucking if you support patriotism and looking in behind the veil, as we spoke about.
Yeah.
If you support that kind of stuff, man, we're all about it. So
Amen. That's what we're here for. I
we
fucking
are
love it.
we are blessed with not a higher knowledge, but a decent knowledge about this stuff, man. We've been going through it since we were youngins.
Yep. Is it a blessing or a curse? I don't know.
It's absolutely a curse.
Yeah.
Um, I can't fucking take a sip of a drink I don't know about without thinking about what the fuck is in it. That's gonna
Yeah.
turn me into a gay frog. Um, you know. uh,
You son of a bitch.
so yeah, join the movement, people.
Yes. Please do. Please do.
Cameron, this was great.
Dude, great as always. I'm glad we're back in the cycle of things. We're
Yes,
gonna keep it
sir.
rolling.
Vibes are high, baby. Let's go.
Indeed. All right, buddy. I love you. Folks, have a
Love
good
you
night.
too.
Peace.